So hi guys, today I will tell what is Git and GitHub, the history of Git and GitHub, why Git and GitHub was created and when was created and who are the creators of Git and GitHub. So if think first of all, Git is a version control system. What is Git? Git is a version control system. What is mean by a version control system? Guys, think like that you are giving an image to a chat GPT. So you want a good background with a full of flowers and greenery. So you are giving a prompt to a chat GPT. So you are giving a first prompt, that is called prompt number 1, and again the chat GPT given a result back to one other picture. So that picture you are not satisfied with that picture, so again you are giving a prompt number 2 for making that picture into to more beautiful. So that is called your prompt number 2. So after that prompt number 2 also the result is not good. So you are giving that to ChatGPT, giving a prompt number 3 very in detailed explanation. You are giving to a ChatGPT, making a picture, the same picture, for to make changes for in a same picture. You are giving in a prompt number 1 and you are giving prompt number 2 and you are giving prompt number 3. These 3 prompts given for a same picture. To making beautiful, to make a picture beautiful, you given a 3 prompts. This prompt number 1, 2 and 3 are called as a version 1. Consider like the prompt number 1 is in a version 1, the prompt number 2 is in a version 2 and the prompt number 3 is in a version 3. So like that only, in your real lifetime you are developing a one Java project. So that project you developed and you are showing that the same project to your teacher. Then your teacher is saying to add some features to this project. So your source code 1 is called as a version number 1. So after listening your teacher requirements, you are changing some code changes and you are adding some features to your project. So that is called your version number 2. And after that your code will not working in a proper way. So you will modify the some code changes and you will do some implementation. So that is called your version number 3. And after that in the final way you will make that code work it into in a proper way. So that code will be considered like that code is version number 4. But this all number version 1 and version number 2 and version number 3 and version number 4, this all about accordingly work into one project. So you are working for one project, but you are making changes multiple times. Version number 1, version number 2, version number 3 and version number 4. This all are the changes for that project, but you are working for one project. So for these versions, that version number 1, 2 and 3 and 4 controlled by a system. So that is called version control system. This all changes controlled by a system. That system is called version control system. So nowadays if you are asking anyone and any developer and any students which version control system you will use, they will all answer, 90% of the people answer Git. So the version control tool is called Git nowadays. So why Git was created and when Git was created and what is the use of Git? Okay, I already told you in the previous video what is the use of Git. So now we should understand why Git was created, and before Git what is there, what is the tool there for version control system, and why Git was created. Git was created in 2005 by Linus Torvalds, the creator of Linux kernel. So why he is created Git, and before Git what is the version control system they will use? At that time that Linux kernel was a very big and large open source project, and many of the developers across the world use this contributed code to at a place, and managing this all the code changes was becoming difficult, guys. When you are changing this all, I told you every changes has need to be controlled by a system, so it is very difficult. So the Linux kernel community was using at that time, before creating a Git, they are also using one version control system, that is BitKeeper. So before 2005 they will use a BitKeeper. So for this Linux kernel people only, that Git was free, guys. If any other people wanted to use, so this is not an open source, they need to pay. They need to pay for BitKeeper. So for the Linux kernel people only, this was free. So because why they are giving free means they have some agreements, guys. They have some agreements and rules. For the reason this BitKeeper giving Linux kernel people to control system for free. So one day this Linux kernel was break down that rules, guys. One day this Linux kernel break down that rules of a BitKeeper. So BitKeeper stopped giving his version control system to a Linux kernel. So at the sudden point they stopped this kernel need to a version control system. So at that time so many other version control tools also there, but they are very slow and they are not reliable also. So that time this Linux kernel team will think like that we need a version control system. We should have to build that one. We only should build for ourselves. And this Linus Torvald was builded that version control system within 10 days in 2005. So this is the reason for they builded a Git. So Git is a open source. So why, what is the main reason for creating a Git in those days means Git is very fast, it is very reliable, and it is in a distributed system, and it is capable to handle large projects, and it is suitable for many developers working. Initially Git was created for they are created, but initially Git was created for a Linux kernel development team only, guys. But after that Git become very popular in general in the world, used in many different software projects, guys. So Git was created in 2005 by who is creator of a Git? Linus Torvald, guys. So the main reason of a Git creation is it is very effectively your code changes and it is source code changes, guys. So this is the history of Git. So that's the reason they created Git. Now you are using that Git. So now you people understand what is Git. So I will explain what is GitHub now. So GitHub is a cloud-based platform where developers can store, share and collaborate in software projects by using a Git, guys. So whatever the code, whatever the project you have, you can store that code into a GitHub, guys. So for storing in a codes and storing in a projects, you need a tool that is called GitHub. For using Git only, you will store your projects into a GitHub, guys. So think like that you developed in one project, that project into a GitHub. So whenever your laptop is not with you also, if someone is asking you show your code and show your project, by opening your GitHub account you can show your code to the other developers and your friends. So now you understand what is GitHub. So learn about the GitHub history. So GitHub was created in 2008 by using 4 developers. And so why GitHub was created, guys? Before GitHub, developers could use Git to manage their code changes, their source code changes and their code changes. But they need a convenient place. They need a convenient place on an internet where they can store their Git repositories and they can share code with other developers, and they need work together on the same project. If they wanted to do work within the same project and to track the changes and how the project was developed and how much is completed, they need all the details, and reviewing the others developers code and contributing to an open source project. And I wanted to see some other developers project. For doing everything we need one platform, so that is only called GitHub. So in the GitHub you can store your projects and you can do this all the things. So GitHub was created as an online platform for an Git repositories and collaborations. So you understand GitHub is used to store our code. GitHub we have a main thing, guys. The main thing name is called repository. A repository is a place where a project and its Git history are all stored in that repository. So when you are writing in a Java project, you have created one files and packages like that only. When you are if you wanted to store a project into a GitHub, you need a repository. A repository is like a file to store your project into cloud based platform. So that is called repository. So in a simple way, first you have your laptop with you. In that laptop you have a code. By using by using git commands, you pushed your code into a GitHub. Means by using git you are storing your project into a GitHub, guys. So GitHub need a file to store that all your projects. So whatever the thing you stored in a repository, that is called your project. In a simple definition, what is mean by repository? Repository is a project folder that is tracks by a git, guys. So what is git? Git is a tool that tracks all the code changes and versions of your code. And what is GitHub? GitHub is an online platform and hosting and collaborating on a Git repositories. And what is repository? Repository is equal to your project plus all Git histories. So this is your repository. By using these three, whatever you have your project in your laptop, you can push that code using by Git, and that will be going to a GitHub. In GitHub there is a repository. In the repository you will store your code. If any other developer wanted to see your code and he wanted to use it, they will clone it and they will use it. So this is all about the Git and GitHub. And one more thing, guys, Git and GitHub both are not same. Git was an original created by Linus Torvald in 2005. It is for an Linux kernel development. By using, you can track your code changes. GitHub was created later in 2008. It provides an online platform for developers where they can store their code and makes the collaborations and easier. So this is all about Git and GitHub. Thank you for watching. Bye, guys.